Pathmonk is the intelligent tool for website lead generation. With increasing online competition, over 90% of website visitors don't convert. The ability to successfully show your value proposition and support visitors in their buying journey separates you from the competition online. Pathmonk qualifies and converts leads on your website by figuring out where they are in the buying journey and influencing them in key decision moments with relevant micro experiences, such as case studies, intro videos, and much more. Stay relevant to your visitors and increase conversions by 50%. Add Pathmonk to your website in seconds. Let the artificial intelligence do all the work. Get access to 50% more qualified leads so you keep doing marketing and sales as usual. Check us out on pathmonk.com. On today's episode of Pathmonk Presents, I've got a very special guest joining today. Please welcome Karina, who is the Digital Marketing Manager at Starter. So, Karina is skilled in research and analysis of trends, assessing social media strategies, and identifying and implementing content and advertising opportunities. For all of you who don't know, Starter is a London-based marketing agency that was featured in The Sun and the Business Mondays. They deliver marketing and digital services that enable growth and overall are here to empower their businesses. Karina, thank you so much for joining us today. It's an honor to have you on our show.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So for all of our listeners out there, tell us, what does Starter do overall?
Yeah, absolutely. So Starter is a digital marketing agency. We focus on inbound and outbound lead generation for our B2B clients. They mainly are tech businesses. We've been in the business for about 7 years now and have worked with some amazing companies, including startups and scale-ups. Majority of them are within the fintech, edtech, or other general B2B tech sectors. We're also a HubSpot partner and always advocate for a value-based approach over a sales-based one in all of our campaigns, really. In 2021, we were recognized as the Small Business of the Year by Lloyds Bank, and even got to have a live conversation with Stephen Bartlett to learn more about his social media growth tactics.
That's awesome. That's really cool. You guys are, doing in the industry that you cater to overall. So speaking of your clients, how do they typically find you? What would you say is your top client acquisition channel? Would you say it's more digital marketing, inbound, SEO, content, or is it a mix of a lot of things?
Yeah, so we try not to keep all of our eggs in one basket, really. I mean, as a marketing agency, we of course utilize, a variety of channels to generate both inbound and outbound leads. Our main inbound tool would be SEO, of course. It's a long-term game, but it's definitely has benefits if you're serious about growth, especially. Outbound channels are anything from social selling to cold messaging campaigns. We also attend industry events and have hosted one ourselves last month. And that was where we gathered B2B tech founders and VCs in one room, which I think was a successful event. Speaking of social media, of course, feel free to follow us on LinkedIn for daily updates. We normally post a few times a week, and there's lots of tips and tricks on how you can improve your marketing strategy as a tech business, particularly B2B tech business.
Amazing. That's good to know. Do you guys also have a newsletter as well that our audience can subscribe to as well?
We do have a newsletter, yes. So if you just check out our website, yeastarter.com, on the homepage, there will be a button for you to subscribe to our newsletters. So feel free to do so as well.
Amazing. Awesome. Definitely going to look into that as well. So now we're going to switch gears and we're going to talk about the website. So what would you say are the major strengths of the Starter website? And then where are there opportunities for room for improvement on the website?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, in general, I think websites are a never-ending work in progress type of thing, in my opinion. At the moment, we do like where we are, and the website is giving us the results that we're looking for. However, again, this doesn't mean that we don't maintain it on a monthly basis, create new landing pages, update the structure. In the coming months, we are planning on launching a new offering and building a new website section around that offering. So that's where we're going to focus our attention on, really. Mainly, our website is built to help our prospect understand three things, I think: who we are, what our services are, and the results that we have achieved in the past. So I think we're trying to make it as easy and as straightforward for potential clients as possible when they are actually on the website. Again, of course, if you want to judge this for yourself, feel free to check out the website, yeastarter.com. Everyone's welcome there.
Sweet, absolutely. No, I definitely like the website, and it's really great with the content that you guys have. I can, see what you guys do as well, and being able to go through everything. Like I understand fully like what the agency provides, which is great. Your call to action is super clear overall.
Thank you. I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah, absolutely. So now we're going to talk about you as a leader. So With being the digital marketing manager, what do you do on a daily basis? What does an average day look like for you?
So again, it depends. As a marketing manager, really the majority of my time I do spend speaking to our clients, understanding their needs, understanding, where the campaigns are, really looking into the analytics, understanding how we can improve the current results and what the next steps can be. So a lot of what I do is actually building out the strategy. Of course, there's quite a bit of implementation as well, but at times I do get help with that from my other team members, things like, people like our execs, ad specialist or copywriter. So on my part, the majority of my work really is strategy and understanding the needs and the goals of the clients, I think, and making sure that what we're doing follows the funnel that we have built out for them. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. You do a lot, but it sounds like you love what you do as well.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, of course, when you start at the beginning, as an exec or a marketing assistant, there's quite a bit of manual work, but the further you progress, the less actual manual work you do on a daily basis and the more thinking you do. And both have their own benefits. Of course, you need to learn, the tools and the analytics and the processes before you can begin to strategize, but both are great, I think.
Yeah, they are. Definitely both are great. So now we're getting close to the end of our interview, and I'm going to send you some rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
Yeah, for sure.
Perfect. What is the last book that you read?
It was actually called Contagious, and I literally finished that book yesterday. And it talks about the ways that ideas stick. So what makes things go viral, what generates word of mouth, and it's really things like social currency, including emotion in your messages, including some kind of a day-to-day interaction. And that was a great book, I think. Contagious, yeah. If anyone wants to check it out, great, easy reads, and definitely very interesting.
All right. Very good. Now, if there were no boundaries in technology, what would be the one thing you'd want to have fixed in your role today as a marketer?
That's a great question, actually. I feel like in general, communication, just the speed of communication, the speed of feedback. So if there was some sort of a tool that, say, would allow me to have have my content approved by the clients without actually having so much of my client time involved into that would be great. Because as you can imagine, as a marketing agency, of course, we create all this content and build out strategies, in our plans, but then in the end, the client has to approve everything, and that can take time and that can slow down our process. So if we could create something that can eliminate that step, our work would just be so much easier, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Especially where for a lot of people who have worked in agencies, communicating is one of the big things as well. And especially when you're managing with different clients and keeping everything up to date, you have to be agile as well.
Sure, yeah. And of course, I understand that it does take quite a bit of effort on the client side as well, and that's very much understandable. But yeah, like I said, just the communication, making sure that everything's done on time is it can be a big issue at times. And if that wasn't, that would just be great. Yeah, that would just make our life so much easier.
It would, definitely. Now, what is one piece of advice that you would give yourself if you could go back to your first day at Yay Starter?
Yeah, so I've actually been at EA Starter for longer than a few years now, and initially I started as an intern. So obviously I had some marketing knowledge, but it wasn't as nearly, as how it is right now. And I think back in the day, I was just very scared of, in general, clicking buttons and checking out tools and seeing what this button does and what that button does. So really, if I would go back in time, I would literally just tell myself to click on every single button, learn your tools, understand the tools that you're working with. Because, in the end, of course, you are building campaigns, but then you can only be as creative as your understanding is of the actual tool and the capabilities of the tool. So even with analytics, for example, if you just press on every single thing out there, you'd be amazed by how much you can pull in comparison to, simply looking at the main overview page. So yes, the advice would definitely be to learn your tech, click on every single button, and learn what your tech can do for your campaigns.
I love that. Three main things for all, like for marketers to take with them. I love it.
Definitely don't be afraid of, breaking anything. I mean, I will be amazed if you really break a campaign by pressing a button. There's always, Command Z or Control Z button. So you'll be fine. Just click on everything, see what it does.
Yeah, exactly. And as you were mentioning too, it allows for you to really understand the mechanisms of it as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we're at the end of our interview today. And I want to thank you so much for joining us on the show. But I also want to give you the last word. If anyone were to forget about everything we've talked about in your interview today, what is the one thing you want them to remember about EA Starter marketing overall?
I would like our listeners to remember that we do focus on B2B campaigns for tech businesses. We have been recognized by more than a few awards over the last years. We have some great case studies. And if anyone is looking to elevate their marketing game, this is definitely the place. I would also like to address to businesses who are potentially not thinking of working with a marketing agency yet. We do have a couple of offerings for you guys as well. So there are masterclass offerings, which are essentially a no commitment one-off offerings. One of them is a day-long masterclass where you come in and we take you through a bunch of things that you need to learn about marketing, things like, building your personas and working with AI and building out your marketing campaigns, working with your database and copywriting and things like that. It takes a day and you walk away with a ton of knowledge that is delivered by our in-house experts. The second offering is a little bit more advanced, and that's called a marketing strategy workshop. This is where we build out a marketing strategy specifically for you. It's a 3-part workshop. We sit down, we'll listen to what your business is, what you want to achieve, where you want to be. We build a strategy out for you, and then you essentially walk away with the strategy ready to implement it if you want to, with or without our help, really. No commitments, like I said.
Well, that's incredible. So these masterclass and your strategy workshop, when will they be free? That way, our audience can be able to, go to yestarter.com and be able to sign up and, be in the know, so that way they can be able to continue their skills as well and get to know you guys as well.
Yeah, so masterclasses are already live and are available on our website. So if you just go to yestarter.com, in the home bar menu, you will see the tools option and the masterclasses will be available there.
Sweet. I think I'm going to join one myself too. Anything to grow my knowledge as well.
Sounds good. Yeah, sounds good.
Absolutely. All right. Karina, thank you again so much for joining us. It was a pleasure. And for all, absolutely. And for all of our listeners out there, check us out next week on Pathmonk.